We're on to Week 5 of the NFL season, and at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, you start every week undefeated. All new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. New Hampshire listeners can also get a skin in the game with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app now. Use promo code SportsHub and get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes this week. That's promo code SportsHub only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL.
Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Bpod Studios.
This is Hardcore Baseball, October edition.
Fair, home run. Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Gone! The impossible has happened. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life. And the Giants have won for the third time in 5 years. The Cubs have won the pennant. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Here's your host, Matt McCarthy.
Red Sox and Yankees. I mean, what more could you want as a baseball fan? American League wildcard game tonight. And we're going to do a quick preview episode here on Hardcore Baseball. Glad to have you alongside, as always. Really looking forward to digging in on the entire Major League Baseball playoffs throughout October. But the Red Sox and the Yankees are playing a one-game play-in, which, if you're a true Red Sox fan, you obviously hate, right? You got a bad, ominous feeling about that if you're a true Red Sox fan. But if you're a baseball fan, my God, you got to love this. I personally love the wild card format that baseball has right now. I know a lot of people don't like it. I like baseball with stakes. When baseball has stakes, my God, it's still one hell of a sport, isn't it? I mean, that was the best part about this past weekend. What a great weekend of baseball. That Saturday game against the Nationals had to be one of the most wild and entertaining regular season games I can remember in a long time that the Red Sox have experienced, that the Red Sox have been in. That was awesome. Baseball with stakes is great, and my God, you got stakes tonight. I don't necessarily know if the Red Sox season's going to end tonight. I don't know if they're going to keep going. I'm really split on that. I'll tell you right now, I'm really split on this outcome. But what I do know is this has been a wild ride of a 2021 season. That is undeniable. I mean, there were so many ups and downs with this team. They got off to such a brutal start, that Orioles series. Then they caught on fire. In early July, 4th of July, they looked like they were the best team in baseball. I mean, they looked like they were one of the worst teams in baseball in August. Down the stretch, they won ugly. They lost even uglier. It's really hard to kind of wrap your head around the experience that was the 2021 Red Sox. And I think ultimately what I come down to is that they've got talent, that they're good, but they got a lot of holes. They play sloppy baseball. They're not good defensively. They don't run the bases well, which leads to kind of a wild and entertaining product. And I think that's kind of what you're going to get tonight, because I think the Red Sox and the Yankees in many ways are mirror images of one another. I think both these teams are inconsistent. I think both of these teams can't field a lick. I think both of these teams can't run the bases. I think both of these teams are liable to give a game away. And I think that's why they were so inconsistent, really, for the vast majority of the season. You know, the Yankees were supposed to be the best team in the American League. The Red Sox, many picked to be the fourth best team in the American League East. And that's where these two teams differ, is that the Yankees had all these expectations. They didn't meet those expectations. The Red Sox had no expectations, and they far exceeded their expectations. But I think here at the end, Game 163, the wild card game, whatever you want to call it, you see two teams that are really similar, which I think will lead to a wildly entertaining product tonight, because, again, I think both of these teams are liable to give a game away with the way that they feel, the way that they run the bases. These two teams are capable of dumbassing themselves out of a baseball game, and they're capable of dumbassing themselves into a loss, which, of course, means your season's over, which is why, just as a fan, the wild card game I think is awesome. And I think we're going to get a great product tonight. I'd be shocked if this game is a blowout in any particular way. So I think, buckle up. This is going to be 4 hours of wild, stressful, but highly entertaining baseball. I think that's what the Red Sox and the Yankees are capable of giving you. I don't know if these teams are very good To be totally honest, I certainly wouldn't bet on either of them to go deep into the playoffs or make a legitimate run at a World Series or anything like that, just based on those flaws, based on those holes that they have. But I know we're going to get a good one tonight. And that I'm looking forward to. I think the pitching matchup is great too. Eovaldi versus Cole. I mean, Cole, the highest paid pitcher in baseball. Eovaldi is the guy that I wanted pitching this game the whole time, particularly given that it's at Fenway Park, particularly given that it's against the Yankees. A right-handed heavy lineup. Eovaldi has dominated the Yankees all year long, with the exception of that last start, which was ugly. There's no doubt about it. And I think that scared off a lot of Red Sox fans. Oh, we'd rather have Chris Sale starting in this game. I felt all along that Eovaldi was the guy I wanted starting this game. Because it's at Fenway Park, because it's against the Yankees, you can pitch the big part of the ballpark. You can pitch to right field. Home field advantage to me is massive in this game. Not only the fact that you don't have 55,000 screaming New Yorkers, yelling at you when you're trying to get 3 outs late in the ball game. We all know that that's a factor at Yankee Stadium. Hopefully Red Sox fans bring it tonight. Hopefully it's not a repeat of that Yankee series from a couple weekends ago when it was like a Bronx invasion here. Hopefully that's not the case. But just in regards to the way that you can play the game at home, pitching to the big part of the ballpark if you're Nathan Eovaldi, I think massive advantage Red Sox when it comes to that. Good pitching matchup tonight. There's no doubt about it. And, I mean, Garrett Cole's the type of guy you want to see in a big game, right? I mean, he was one of the faces of Spider Tack. He was one of the faces of the baseball season. You want to see him on the big stage. Eovaldi's a big game pitcher. Cole's a big money pitcher. I mean, they're both big money pitchers, but Cole's a really big money pitcher. My God, that's a good pitching matchup right there. Again, high entertainment value tonight. I think that's absolutely the case. The rosters came out about an hour ago as I sit here recording this. 2 major developments, one for the Red Sox, one for the Yankees. DJ LeMahieu not available for the Yankees. He's out until at least the ALDS with the sports hernia. And JD Martinez, who tripped over the second base bag, jogging out to his position in the National League ballpark over the weekend, he's out with an ankle injury. The Red Sox do not have JD Martinez at their disposal tonight. I know a lot of Red Sox fans are focusing on that. Frankly, I don't think it's all that big a loss. I don't, at least in the context of a one-game playoff. I think we just have to understand that JD Martinez has not been a consistently impactful hitter for quite some time now. So going up against Cole, dominant righty, I actually think the Red Sox won't miss Martinez all that much tonight, because getting Kyle Schwarber out of the field is no small development. That guy could lose you a game at first base. That guy could lose you the season at first base. He is not a first baseman. So not having Martinez tonight against Garrett Cole, sure, ideally you'd like to have him available, but I almost feel a little bit better about your chances to win a one-game playoff, particularly if it ends up being low scoring, which I certainly don't rule out with Eovaldi and Cole on the mound. Both those guys have it tonight. You're talking about a low-scoring game. One error, one play in the field could be the difference. So I feel pretty good about not having Kyle Schwarber at first base in a do-or-die game. Now, Red Sox get to the ALDS. We're talking about a 5-game series. Then I'm willing to pick my spots. Then I'm willing to put Kyle Schwarber at first base against right-handed pitching. I'm not complaining that he's the designated hitter instead of the first baseman in a one-game playoff with everything on the line. So with all of that in mind, the fact that Martinez hasn't been consistently impactful, the fact that Cole's on the mound, tough righty, the fact that Kyle Schwarber isn't playing first base in a one-game playoff, I just don't think the Martinez ankle injury is that big a deal in the context of one night, which is all we're talking about here. I actually think Iglesias might be a bigger loss tonight. This is something that I don't know if we've talked enough about. Jose Iglesias' impact on the Red Sox over this last month, I mean, it's undeniable. He made them a better team. Plain and simple, Iglesias made the Red Sox a better team. So I don't really know what you do at second base tonight. Is it going to be Arroyo? Is it going to be Arauz, who's on the line, who's on the roster? I don't know if Alex Cora has a real obvious answer there. They're going to miss Jose Iglesias tonight. No doubt about it. So how should the Red Sox line up? If I were Alex Cora, this would be my lineup card. You can tweet at me at Matt McCarthy 98.5 if you agree or disagree. I'm leading off with Hernandez, of course, putting him in center field, followed by Schwarber, Bogarts, Devers. Then I guess you can figure out if you want to go with Renfroe or Verdugo fifth. Those guys will hit fifth or sixth, depending on how you want to spread out the lefties. That, to me, really doesn't matter. Then the bottom of the lineup, boy, you got to figure some things out here. You're going to go with Bobby Dahlbeck, who's only had 4 at-bats against Garrett Cole. He's 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. That doesn't feel like a good matchup to me. It just doesn't. I think I'd go Travis Shaw tonight. Christian Arroyo would have been the obvious example or the obvious answer all year long. He hasn't looked like himself since coming back from COVID. He's barely been available to you down the stretch here. Do you trust that guy in a 1-game playoff? I guess, maybe, but you're going with Arauz instead, and then it's probably going to be Plawecki catching Evaldi. Finally, who's winning this thing tonight? This is all I have to say, and this is courtesy of Dan Shaughnessy, and I've confirmed this. The Massachusetts lottery numbers last night, the winning lottery numbers in Massachusetts, 1978. 1978. To me, this game's a pick'em. And I see something like that, and I'm sorry, I'm a true Red Sox fan. That scares the crap out of me. That freaks me out. Call me foolish, call me crazy. They've won 4 titles in the last 17 years. Stuff like that shouldn't freak me out. Oh no, it freaks me out. And you know what? If you're a true Red Sox fan, that type of stuff freaks you out too. So anyways, go Sox. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the NL wildcard game tomorrow. And then we'll be back with you later this week. We got the LDS starting up. Hopefully we're talking about a Red Sox-Rays series. We got some good stuff coming from baseball in this final month here. Gotta love October. Who doesn't love October? My name is Matt McCarthy. This is Hardcore Baseball.
Boom Boom Games, your home for 80s and 90s retro video games, wrestling figures and collectibles, vintage toys, cards, comics, and all your nostalgia needs. They've got something for every console from Atari 2600 to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Looking for a specific video game? They will try to source it for you. Do you have some old consoles or collectibles? Bring them in because Boom Boom Games buys and trades. Boom Boom Games is also your store for Star Wars toys, Pokemon, and the wrestling selection will have you feeling that sweet chin music. Boom Boom Games in Billerica. Check them out.